Could you imagine a world not within our 3 dimensions, but instead within only 2 dimensions, where every citizen is perceived as a line with many different sides? You yourself are a square, telling the tale of your reality when suddenly you are shown another. At first, you cannot comprehend the absurdity of a world where shapes exist in 3D, but the evidence, no matter how unwilling you are at first to believe it, is undeniable. Hello my friends and welcome back to DanWhiteBooks. Today I'll be discussing and reviewing a literary classic, Flatland, a romance of many dimensions. Flatland is a science fiction tale written by Edwin A. Abbott and first published in 1884. The book belongs to that rare breed of science fiction works that were written so long ago yet still manage to feel incredibly relevant even today. Indeed, the style of writing in this book would have you unconvinced that it was published over a century ago. In that regard, this is a piece of writing that can be considered vastly ahead of its time. This is a story unlike any other. The protagonist, a nameless square with 4 sides, serves as our guide into the fascinating world of Flatland. Unlike our 3-dimensional world, the inhabitants of Flatland are all flat shapes, perceiving one another as various types of straight lines. The protagonist provides insights into how these shapes recognize and distinguish each other. Some rely on touch, others on sound, and occasionally on sight. To illustrate this, imagine observing a flat square on a desk. As you bring your eyes down to the flat side of the desk, the square becomes a line. In this 2-dimensional realm, the number of sides is a crucial aspect of social identity. In Flatland, sides play a crucial role in the hierarchical structure of the society depicted. The number of sides a shape possesses directly influences its social standing, privileges, and opportunities within Flatland. For instance, squares like the protagonist hold a respectable position due to their 4 equal sides. Triangles such as isosceles or equilateral represent lower social classes, while shapes with even more sides such as pentagons or hexagons occupy more esteemed positions. At the pinnacle of the hierarchy, circles, with an infinite number of sides, wield significant power and influence. The emphasis on sides reflects the importance of geometric perfection within Flatland societal structure. Shapes with greater numbers of sides are seen as more refined, intelligent, and morally superior. They are granted higher educational opportunities, hold preferable professions, and enjoy a better social lifestyle. However, shapes with fewer sides, or indeed uneven sides, face discrimination and a retraction of opportunities. They are often relegated to menial labour or lower class positions. This social order based on sides creates a rigid and strict society, reinforcing the notion that perfection of how one looks dictates an individual's worth and place in the world. I'm sure you'll agree that this would be rather nightmarish here on Earth. However, it is true to observe that people can fall into certain positions purely because they are born of nobility. This parallel between the hierarchy of Flatland and aspects of our own world is indeed unsettling. Our main protagonist has a dream one night about another world, a place where all inhabitants are represented by a single line. There is no concept of 2 dimensions, only one. Initially, the protagonist finds it hard to believe the reality he is witnessing and questions an authority figure called the King of Lineland. This stubborn character refuses to accept dimensions beyond his own, being limited to a literal 1-dimensional mindset. The square from Flatland could be accused of having a similar perspective if it weren't for a shocking encounter the next day. The so-called dream the square experienced was indeed a truth. Just as there are dimensions below the square, there are also dimensions above, and I'm sure you can guess which one I'm referring to, the one we inhabit, the 3rd dimension. While at home and contemplating over the mind-bending Lineland, our square is greeted by a mysterious and bewildering presence, a shape that appears to be able to move in and out of Flatland as if by magic. This figure is known as the 3D Circle, a being of unfathomable depth and complexity. The 3D Circle defies the very fabric of Flatland's reality. The protagonist is overcome by a mix of fear, wonder, and disbelief as the 3D Circle defies their understanding of the world. This encounter becomes a defining moment, a collision between the known and the unknown, forever altering the protagonist's perception of their existence and igniting an insatiable hunger for the exploration of higher dimensions. I have discussed the story within this book extensively, and there's no doubt that this is a challenging one to comprehend. However, my God, was it ahead of its time. Let us remember that this book was written in 1884, a staggering 139 years from the current date. When reading it, you would never believe it's that old. I can guarantee that if you were to give it to people and ask them to guess the publication date, they would likely believe it's written in the 21st century. That alone is an impressive achievement. The book delves into the realms of other dimensions and provides details on how life could function outside the constructs of three-dimensional space. The author's focus on a character existing outside of our own dimension makes for thought-provoking and curious reading. You have described in detail the nature of Flatland and how daily life goes about its business. This is a true gem of science fiction. Should you pick this one up? Yes, certainly. If you're a fan of science fiction and enjoy the more nuanced kind, Flatland is by no means a long book, but it is without doubt one of the most unique books I have ever read, and I remember my time with it very fondly. My friends, thank you for watching another book review. I hope to see you soon for another book review. As you can see, my setup has currently sort of changed. I have moved some things around, so please bear with me. I would recommend picking up this book. If you enjoy science fiction, then this is certainly one to get your eyes stuck into and get reading. It is very unique, one of the most unique books I've read. It's slightly difficult to comprehend when it's being described to you, but the author does well to explain it well, so it's not overbearing. So if you are a fan of science fiction, I think this is a classic, to be honest. It's quite an old book, as I've said, but it is one that will have quite an effect on you, and it's amazing to think how long ago this was written. It truly is. Thank you again for watching. I will see you here again for more book reviews. Please see my description below to follow me on Goodreads and to see what books I'm currently reading. Bye bye.